And even when I do that, sometimes it will slip out, and it's a real pain in the butt when that happens. So I feel for you. Yeah.
Yes. I just gave a whole studio class at UBC on strings and maintenance and stuff. So I think I sent everybody just little bits that I'd gotten at the handouts that I'd given.
Yeah. How many? I don't keep extra strings because you never know which one's going to go, right?
Yeah.
And except that we have to go to town to get them, and I'm always dreading that you'll phone up. I phone up and I ask them to hold it for me and pay for it, then I can get to town. But should you keep strings? Like, should you keep a spare couple octaves, or is
Yeah,
that just a waste of money?
no,
I
it's not a
do.
waste of money because you're going to put them on eventually. Because some strings, I mean, you should always replace them from time to time, and some of them
Yeah.
last better than others. So, like these ones up here tend to break more often. I think
Yes.
the little thin ones tend to break more often. I find like
Okay.
particularly the third octave, for some reason. But anyway,
Yeah.
these ones will last you quite a bit better. Normally these ones are good for a while, maybe
Hmm.
several years, and these ones will go on for quite a while, but they get dull. So,
Yeah.
like most professionals, replace the wire strings at least every 2 years at the minimum because they do get a little bit dull sounding. So that you want to get, yeah. So I always just keep a full set because I can't, I need them for when I'm teaching or
Well,
performing.
yeah.
Um, but you could get away with all the colored ones. You want to have the F's and the C's because and then you could probably
Yeah.
just get away with like one on either side of it, and maybe not every single string, but I just figured it was easier just to order like a full set or just replace them
Yes.
as they break.
Okay.
I live so far in the backwoods that the only way I can get replacement strings is by ordering them online and getting them sent to me.
Yeah, that's what I usually do anyway because I think that you look for the sales, like there are
Yeah.
sales every so often.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And
Yeah,
it's
I think.
cheaper for a full set than to buy single strings.
Yeah.
And I
Okay.
think often it's before Christmas or something, or some kind of they like I think Vanderbilt every so often will just have a sale, or the harp string. The My friend in California, Jessica Siegel, would have sales every so often at Harps, etc. I don't know if they have sales at Lion Healy, but keep your eyes open. Maybe there are some here and there.
Check soon for Black Friday.
Yeah, I was just going to think about that.
I remember Black Friday and sometimes just before September, like when school year starts, sometimes they do.
Yeah, and they'll
Although I
have
haven't
special.
seen sales in a while since the strings have been all weird, and it's very hard to get this like fourth octave right now and the
Yeah,
fifth octave. Really hard to get them. So I'm like right now I don't have a fourth octave B and I'm waiting around for one. It's like
yeah,
really
we're all in the same boat, waiting for fourth octave strings to come in.
right.
Though apparently, I just saw something on Facebook where they were talking about this very thing, and the reason that fourth octave strings are so hard to get right now is because apparently it takes a whole lot of gut to make a fourth octave string, like way more than it takes for some of the other octaves for some reason. And they didn't have as many cows, like they haven't got the big herds they used to have. So like they just haven't got the cows. But they said it's starting to improve, that that they think the problem is going to go away very shortly. This was a letter from Bo Brand to somebody, and that person put it on Facebook so you could see the letter. So I'm hoping
Hmm.
that things are going to get much better with the supplying of harp strings.
Yeah.
Hi, Monica. So, I just before I forget to mention it, I just downloaded my harp column magazine today, and there's a nice little a Christmas Carol arrangement by Robertson in the middle. So I printed it out, and if we run out of time with like next week or next lesson when we have the performance and stuff, if we have extra time, we could have a peek at that one because it's kind of nice, and it's from the Isle of Manx, from the Manx area. So what is it? It's
Yeah.
two rather unpronounceable names. No, that's not it. That was last. Anyway, so I have a kind of it's called a Manx Celtic Christmas, and I just downloaded this and printed it out from Harp Column magazine, which just I think that the issue just came out
That's
today.
awesome.
Anyway.
I didn't get that far. I started with a very, very like riveting article about our Toronto principal harpist.
Oh yeah, Heidi Bearcroft, yeah.
It is such a great magazine. I just love it. So just real. They have just real articles, real people, real stories. I really like it.
Yeah. So I guess we'll get started. So we have two different things we're going to be dealing with today. I've got a piece called JB Reel, and it's a traditional Scottish reel arranged by Laurie Riley. Like a mixture of Kim Robertson and Laurie Riley, and it's in the same book. I've been doing a lot of stuff from. I love this book. This is a collection by Beth Coley called The Northern Folk Harp. And so I used this for a wedding I played a while back where the groom was Scottish and all the guys were supposed to wear kilts if they had them. So I thought I better have some Scottish repertoire. So I learned this one and I really, really like it. So shall we start with this one, Lanny, and then we'll move on to the, okay.
Okay, right. I'll mute.
Okay. So if you have a pedal harp, you set it with 1 sharp, with the F sharp, and then, but if you have a lever harp, you also set the C sharp lever to get started. And the lever harp doesn't have to do anything. I don't think there are any lever changes, but for the pedal harp, I think you have to, yes, you have to move the C sharp pedal in the 5th bar, and then you're okay. I think that's, yeah, the only, no, there's, I'm lying. In 17, you have to move your C pedal back to natural, but you'll see it's on the music. Okay, so it starts off with a little introduction. It's like this. So it sets a nice little tone. So that's your introduction. It's all in the left hand, and normally I would take some of that in my right hand, but because I'm going to be doing that again in the left hand in bar 3, I just thought, well, I'll just leave it in the left hand. So I'll just play through the whole thing first without any repeats, and then I'll come back and we'll talk about the way to play this. So I'll just play through. Back. It does the coda, which is just, you can go back, or do the thing, but it's the same, and then you come back and you just do the coda, which is the same as the introduction, and you're done. Anyway, so I'm just going to go back, and we'll just take a look at this opening. So the opening's all in your left hand, and it's just 4-2-1. Come back and replace 3 notes, and then you're just kind of rocking them back and forth, and you just do it again. So let's just all do that together. We can do it nice and slow. So I'll just count us in. I'll go slower than that. So like 1 and 2 and about that speed. So I'll just go 3 and 4 and. So you'll notice that I'm keeping my thumb nice and high. So it's not going to be down here. It's going to be up there. I'll do it in my right hand so you can see it better. And you'll also notice that I'm not closing right over like I often do. I'm just letting it stick up in the air. I'm just kind of pushing off like that. Because I don't want the thumb to stick out. I don't want to have a lot of power on the thumb. It's actually sort of a very mellow kind of thing. And then when we're getting into this thing, so you're just going to hop off. This is at section A. Then you just grab the next 4 notes. But you can't really get that E on yet because the E is in your left hand. So you're going to go like 1, 2, 3 with your 4th finger sticking out here. And then when you're done with the E down here, then you can put that one on. So the right hand's going to go like hop off, get the top three just like the same ones you just did. And then when you're clear, then you can put your last one on. Hop off again, grab this. And this one you're going to go to your fourth or your third finger. I go to my fourth finger. But if you're happy you're going to your third finger, that's okay. And then you're going to get the next 4 notes as a clump. So we'll just go that far. And the one thing to remember is you're going to be going quite a distance here. You're going to go up to your D from there when you get up to. Just remember that's your top note there, the D. So I'm just going to play that again, and we'll do it together. 3, 4, and. Now here, in Beth's recording, she adds a little grace note right there. So she goes, so you can either add the grace note or not add the grace note. So, or just go like, or, so all you have to do is just put it right back where it was and then just play it again. But it doesn't affect anything. And then you just go ahead, and from here, then I start, because I'm coming down this way, I'm just going to go to 4, 3, 2 here, even though I did 3, 2, 1 on the same thing originally. And then I just hop off again and start again from the 1, 2, 3, 4, just like the other one. And then you have your first C sharp. So it's a 6th from here to here, so that's a bit of a stretch, but I just hop actually, go. And then I just grab these two after I've hopped off. And again, your top note's your D. And then you have this. So there's a whole lot of these grabbings of 4 notes at a time. And I believe they're always 3 notes in a row at the top and then a third after. So for this one, oopsie, same thing. So the top 3 are together, then you've got a third. Same thing here. And this one is just 1 more note down. Everything's the same cookie cutter. So that little pattern happens a lot in here. So your hand will start feeling it as a natural, like, oh yeah, I know how that feels. Meanwhile, if we're going to back up and do the left hand, this part's quite, again, quite a bit the same. So you have from bar 3, same thing as the beginning, but you just come off. And then you do another E and B. And I use 4 and 2 for that, because then I can get back up here. And again, 4, 3, 2, 1. So again, you've got that pattern of 3 notes in a row right next to each other. And then you're going to the 3, or to the E. And here's where I used to get confused. My thumb on my right hand is going up to the D, but my left hand thumb is going to the E. So that's a little weird feeling because you've got a 7th between the two of them. So when you play that bar, plus you don't continue to play there, so you have to just coordinate the hands there. So you've got 3 in a row, right there, all parallel, and then it kind of starts doing different things right here. So I often had to practice just doing this much. Just getting used to having that note by itself. And then I come back, and then I was okay. And then same thing here. So then down here, and then you just go down to the E and the B, and then back. So let's just practice that left hand part. So that's just bars 3 and 4, just the left hand. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3, 4, 1, 2 and 3, 4. And then the next bar is the same as this one, but then it goes down, just shifts all of this down 1 note. Sorry. And also goes down 1 more note from what that bottom 5th was. So this one here is a D chord. The one before that was an E chord. So you can really hear that modal thing going on there. So anyway, that's what happens there. Then you come back, you do this again, just like you did before. and back to the D, and then A, and back to the D. So that's how I tend to try to learn new stuff, is I just look for anything that's the same, or if it's not quite the same but close, like if it's just one note lower or something like that, then if I can notice something like that right off the bat from the first 5 minutes of looking at the piece, then already I've just saved myself hours of just going through it. And it just, if you can kind of recognize stuff immediately. So, and the right hand's going to be doing a lot of the same stuff there too. It's just like, same thing, does it again. Maybe that. And then this is exactly the same, except for this. And then there's that little pattern, does it again. So just like the beginning. Then here's a different thing. You go B, C sharp, D, which is the first time that happens. And then you have a D major. So this is just a D major triad, but you're just pulling off these two. And if they don't come off together, if they do this, just think about having a little target. Pretend you've painted a little target right here and you're hitting that target at the same time. Because if you can hit the target, if you don't think of them coming off the string at the same time, but hitting the target at the same time, they'll come off cleanly. So that's something you can practice if you're trying to get something together. So that's in bar 9. And right there, I just replaced back onto that third finger. And that's another thing you can practice, is just getting replaced. And then here, I just walk myself along. And you can either use your thumb or a second finger there for that last C sharp in that bar. That's bar 9. And then I just hop up. So what I originally did was I went like this, and I used a thumb and crossed. That's perfectly fine. But if you don't like that, you can just hop off and then carry on. And then you just walk yourself down. And then if you want to come back, say you do the repeat, then you just cross underneath and off you go again. So that's that bit. Now, to get to the next bit without too much trauma, what I did here, so after I did this, I took the next E, both the E's, in my left hand. And that gave my right hand more time to get all the way up here. Otherwise, it's really awkward, because if you're coming from there, then you have this, and then you have to hop off and change. So now, what I've always done after that was at section B, which is bar 11, I get the first 2 E's, that octave, with my B is already placed in the middle here. So if it looks like this. So these two guys are coming off together, and this one is still on, and off I go. And so the left hand, pretend this is my left hand. It does this. Back to the E again, and then I cross, and I just do my little scale. So that's what happens there, and it happens a whole bunch of times. It happens in this bar, and then it does this. Whoopsie. And then we do this again. So that's your E minor, and then you just go down to your D again, just like we did before. Down to the D, and then we do this again. This is just like what we just did the previous bar. And then we just keep going down in this pattern. So then we start again on C, start again on B, and then again on A, just in steps. And then I took out the top 2. I didn't like them at all because they just seemed to get in the way. So I didn't do the full, because when you get there, this one's okay. This one, you've got the same thing. You've got a conflict between your right hand and your left hand. So I just left out that D up here, just because otherwise you can't get it on, and it's just awkward. And there's no need for it. This is folk music. We don't have to torture ourselves with awkward things if we don't want. There's only one other awkward bit. Let me see if I can find it. So from this section, that part's fine. And all also Beth did this. She went, so she just repeated her second finger here. Crossed over and then, but I'm kind of getting ahead of myself here. So, so when you get this right hand thing, so you don't play that low E, you just play the top. Cross over, and then you're going to go 1, 2, 2, 4, and it seems a little weird because you have this third finger just kind of hanging around. And then it comes back because now you need it for this little scale. So let's just try that bit. That's section B, just the first 2 bars, just the right hand. So I'll count us in 3 and 4 and Is everyone okay with that? So it's just the switcheroo to the 4th finger when you get to bar 12, and you go 1, 2, 2, 4. Now, let's say you forget to do that, and you go 1, 2, 2, 3. That's okay. Just hop off and start again from the 3rd finger. So your 3rd finger just hops back to the G. When I was learning this, I kept making that mistake, and it really was not a problem. I just simply went down to the 3rd finger and just kept going from there, just hopped off and continued on my merry way, until eventually my 4th finger learned to go on there. For some reason, this was a problem for me. I really had to fight it. Now it's fine, but and then the same thing happens again. And the nice thing here, these guys are the same notes. You have the F sharp and the G at the same time. So that's something you can sort of grab hold of, like, oh, that's the same. In fact, you've got the E, the F, and the G at the same time. So it's just octaves. There they are. And now we're in G major. And then it does it again. Then you go to your 2nd finger because you're going to be going that way. And now we're into this thing where we have the D down here. And this is just a scale here. Cross over, and then you just grab a D major chord. But here's where, again, you have this 4th finger that's going to be conflicting with what you've done over here, so you may have to wait for it. So you have this, yeah, in fact, it's the F. That's the thing, that's the conflict right here. You've got an F here. So you can only get 1 and 2 on here, and then you can put 3 and 4 on, so you go. So that does feel awkward. So you've got this 1, 2. The other thing you could do here, if you really hate that, you could go, you could take that F here. That's another way you could solve that problem, just by putting that F sharp in the right hand instead, if that makes you happier, if it feels better. I did get used to this, though. Any questions about that kind of fingering?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Is that, I see you've split the brackets on that D chord going
Yes.
down. And that's
why
how
I
you
did it.
show the late placing?
Yeah.
That's handy to know. Thank you.
Yeah, I just did it that way because I thought, well, it's not really clear. Otherwise, you would assume, of course, you put all the fingers on. But because you've got this, you know, it's like, what am I going to do? Like, oopsie. If you did that, you'd get no F sharp there. You'd have a xylophonic sound or something, or snare drum sound. Anyway, so that's what I did there. Again, like, you could just take all of that and you could just put that F in your right hand. You'd solve the problem. But that's another awkward thing. And so then we're back to this. And then I slide, here, I slide my thumb into the F there. And now I'm all set up for this next little bit. And then I just carry on. And so what I think of this is just it's a scale, and then it's a D major triad. So there's 2 halves of this bar. You've got the scale coming down, then a triad coming back up. And then I'm on my E here, and then we're sort of out of the woods to some degree. So at 17, you have a little scale here. I cross over, and then I went 1, 2, 3, 4, and then hopped. And the reason I did that, I tried going 1, 2, 3, 1, and it just kept following me up, and I don't really know why. So I finally just stopped fighting it. And I just went 1, 2, 3, 4, hop. And I was much happier. My brain liked it better. It just seemed to be more like intuitive with the way the music runs. So it's not a standard harpy fingering, but it worked for me with this thing. So it seemed to take away the confusion I was feeling. So it's got this da da dum da da dum da da in the left hand, so it just goes together. Here's another little section. Hop down, and then just play fifths. And you can either use 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, or 2, 3, 4, and then go to 1, 2, 3. It's just that you're coming from a thumb, so I went 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. But I also went hopped off and just went 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. That would be fine as well. Whatever suits you. And then you go back to B. You do it again, and then you go to the second ending, which is basically it's the same. I don't know why she did a first and second ending because it's exactly the same. And then she says repeat back to intro. But the thing is, if you do that, you don't get that E. And I like the E there. So I really think of it more as going to the coda and then coming back and going back to A if you're going to do repeats. So, because without that E, it just seems to be missing something. So you go. Still okay, but I think this is better. It just seems to finish it nicely. And then you just go back and you can do as many repeats as you want if you want to sort of stretch it out. And that's it. And it's a really fun little piece to do. And somewhere in here she talked about the tempo, and she said it's not supposed to, it's marked only 80. Oh yeah, there's a little introduction in the page just before it. It says, Lori Riley wrote the arrangement for harp of this fiddle tune, which I find to be very calm and flowing. She performs it much slower than a standard reel, an inspiration she got from fiddler Alistair Fraser. By slowing the tempo, you'll find the tune reveals a moodier, more contemplative character. It's not difficult for an intermediate harper to play, and there's ample room for small embellishments in both hands, and she's got it on Lori's collection CD. So if you're looking for a recording of it from the arranger, it's on Lori Riley's CD called Collection. But also Beth Coley herself has recorded it on YouTube. Are there any questions about this? No? Okay, great. Well, then I'll hand it over to Lanny. I almost said Lori. I'm getting so confused because I just had a lesson last week with Lori Papajohn, so there's all these Loris floating around in my brain.
Oh, yes. I love it. Or Lonnie. Lonnie is the Uber.
Lanny and Lorian.
Every time I get in an Uber, the GPS app says, pick up Lonnie here or drop off Lonnie there. I'm like, it's Lanny. It's not Lonnie. Okay, can you guys hear me okay? Yeah, okay. And I have original sound on, so you should be able to hear the harp as well.
Sounds good.
Okay, good. Good. At least it sounds good on Zoom. I love this harp. This harp sounds great in this room.
Which one is that? Is that your Salvi?
This is my Salvi. Yeah, it sounds great in this bedroom. On the concert stage, I don't know what happens to it, but it sounds great in this bedroom. As long as it stays in this bedroom, it's a beautiful, happy harp. So we got to the second page, I believe, of Good Christian Men, Bring a Torch, Jeanette Isabella, and Good Christian Men. Am I correct? I know we kind of blew through the very ending of page 1. And if you have any questions about page 1, I can answer them now. Otherwise, I'm going to start at bar 40 on page 2. Good? Okay. So this is where we don't quite get into Good Christian Men yet, but this is our little interlude in between. So we're still in 6/8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're just going to go a little bit slowly. And again, just play along one hand or two hands. And if you want to play this piece, there's a lot going on. So you can drop hands, you can drop bars, you can drop out the interlude, you can play only Jeanette Isabella from the first page, or only Good Christian Men, which is coming up here. But just do what you can with this one. We're going to take a look a little closer. This is all thirds practice. So make a little note before you play this piece. You want to practice your thirds up and down the harp. Okay. It's perfect Christmas. This is a perfect Christmas exercise, just playing thirds up and down the harp. And you can do lots of exercise too. Just make sure that your hand is always landing in the right spot when you're playing thirds. I think my big thing when I was younger was really just over plucking sometimes, over kind of flinging my fingers land in the right place, and then there was a lot more buzzing. And so I think just getting a little bit more centered strings so that every time you land, it's the same position, just like when we see Elizabeth's hands, like steady, steady, as you go up the harp. And every time you land, just like landing on a trampoline, if you land a little bit awkwardly, bounce yourself, right? Or you're just going to fall right off. So you want to land just with the right angle and the right strength. And so practicing this before you start will help, because we're going to play thirds just forever here. So the melody is a counter melody. We've got a D chord in the left hand. It's just an octave, a fifth and an octave. Okay, so I'm just using these open chords. So our left hand in this whole line goes D chord, this is bar 40, bar 41, D chord, bar 42 is a G chord, and then a D, a G chord, and an A fifth. That's it. Now we're going to repeat that whole thing again. D, 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 it's a G, and a D, and a G, and then it's the A open, but it's down an octave. Okay, so you've learned the left hand. And is everyone comfortable with this octave in the fifth? I think everybody's got a nice hand position. Just be careful you're not grabbing. So we don't want to do, you're gonna close in here, apple grabbing. So make sure that you've got really like a more flat palm so that you're not squeezing in that fourth finger or the pinky as you're going. Just stay nice and open, then you don't get tired. Because if you're doing grabbing positions, you make it really tough. And the right hand, we're going to go in a scale pattern. So it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so here, really release your hand, because you've done all of the stepwise motion. Okay, the next bar, same thing, 1, 2, 3. Now we talked about this a little bit the other day. I do 2, 4, 1, 2, 4, 1, and then 1, 2, and then
Oh, Lanny, you froze.
oh, did I? Can you see me now?
Yeah, no, we can see you, but we were just about to tell us what you were doing, and then
Oh, boo. That's terrible. That's terrible. This is the money moment here. Doing. Okay, so the first 4 notes of this little pattern, I just do 2, 3, 1. So 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. Then I grab 1, 2, and then I flip in my 3, 4. So 1.
uh-oh. Oh no, did we just lose her? Oh dear. Oh, I think I know what she was about to say. So we'll just fill in until she gets back. So the last 2 notes, the 2 30-second notes are 3, 4, whoopsie, and then a second finger, and then you're back to this. So you can go. And if that's, yeah, there you are. We lost you.
I don't know what's going on. It was just fine before, and it's having a little meltdown, my computer. Oh my goodness. Okay, can you still see me?
Yeah, now we're good.
Okay. Okay, so 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. And then I do 1, 2, and 3, 4. Super small movements. 1, 2, and then my 3, 4. So I'm almost like my fingers are kind of here, like ready to go. They're not down like proper technique. They're a little bit up and ready to go. So I do 1, 2, then I do 3, 4, 2, 1. Okay, so Elizabeth was just talking about doing the 2, 3, 1. Here it's 3, 4, 2, and then 1 or 1, 3, if you're prepared to do that. Okay. Now, if you're not comfortable, it depends how fast you're going. If you're doing this quite quickly, you probably don't want to play all these notes. They might sound a little bit choppy. So you could do just the first 4 notes and then just the top notes at the end. The G, F, G, A. Okay, you can leave out the bottom notes of the third, the E and the D at the end of that bar. Okay, so okay, and depending on how fast you're going, we really want it to be just light, fluffy. It doesn't need to be heavy at all. So whatever comes out, it's going to sound like a cute little grace note anyways. Okay, do you have another fingering?
Yeah, I have a question. So when you come off after you've done this, which I'm assuming you're replacing here, right? And then do you put your second finger back on the E when you come up like this? So, and then that, or do you just hop off?
I do. No, I put my second finger on already. Yeah. So okay. 2, 3, 2, 3, and then my 2's already on before the 1 comes on. And then this is the really fast jump, is getting to the 3, 4. So, but you don't want to put any emphasis on the 3, 4 at the end. So if you play the whole little bit, don't put any emphasis anywhere. Right? We just want it to just float. Just a little bit of extra. If you put emphasis on, then kind of it'll become mushy and tricky. Okay. Any other questions about that? Okay. Okay, good. So then we go back to our thirds. Now this whole thing I'm jumping, you can play it slower, of course, but just be really careful that when you're jumping, just like I was saying before, when you're jumping these thirds, as soon as you pluck, your hand is going to where it needs to land next. So in bar 46, for example, I play the A and the C, the B and the D, and my hand is already bounced to where it needs to go on that F and A. So that takes some choreography.
Actually, what I did there, I cheated. I went.
Yes, that's also a smart thing to do.
I also cheated just where it comes back in bar 42 as well. Yes. And it's funny because it becomes like a default. It's like a habit I have. When I see that, it's just immediately like, yeah, this is what I'm going to do here.
Yeah, totally. And you can actually, yeah, I was thinking, Elizabeth, you might do a little bit of like slides.
You could slide some of this, yeah.
You could slide if you're getting tired of the jumpy thirds. You could do lots of connecting, like bar 47, 2, 4, 2, 4, 3, 1, and then the 2, 1. It just makes it a little bit more smooth if you're comfortable with those fingerings. And otherwise you can do the jumping, but yeah, it can get tiring. Okay, so moving into the next section, this is Good Christian Men Rejoice. It's fairly self-explanatory, this one. The left hand is doing these octave plus fifth again, but now they're broken. So we do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, cross under. You can cross under or you can jump it. It's up to you. I kind of like the cross under because then if you cross under 4, 2, 1, 3, 2, then you don't get so much emphasis on bar 49 on the A in the left hand. We don't want a lot of emphasis because that's not a heavy beat. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If you do a 2, 1, it can sound like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right? It can sound a little heavy on the 1. So the cross under is quite nice. Okay, the next bar we only cross under one note. O, O, F, and da, da, F, D, F. Okay, then we're back to our octaves and a B octave. And now we have some little groupings of intervals which need practice. Okay. Okay, this all needs really nice practice. Bar 53, 54, 55, 56, that left hand. Again, really just landing on the notes that you want. We have a fourth, a third. We have a fourth with a third stacked on top of it. We have our octave, our fifth and octave. And then I connect 3 connects to 2, 1, and I jump and hit that octave. There's some other options you could do. You could connect down to that bottom 4. You could come off on the 3, and then connect the 4th finger if you wanted to, if you feel comfortable with that, just for safety. So know you're going to land that D at the bottom. Okay. And then we get back into our D and D, and we have an octave with a 5th, and a 5th and octave. Okay, let's just take a look at the right hand, and then we'll take a look at that rhythm on bar 60. So the right hand going back to bar 48. Okay. So this one you could connect everything. So you could do like connect 4, 3, 2, 1 on your D, D, F, G, A. So you could connect that whole thing. If you don't feel comfortable with that, you could just come off 3, 3, 3, 2, 1. It's really up to you. I like connecting. It's kind of a nice 1, 2, 3. Okay, so then I would connect those 1, 2, 3, the D, B, A, and then same thing, it repeats, but this time we play the B and a grace note to the A. Okay, so that's the usual grace note we've talked about so much. That's a B with your thumb, and then A, B, I go 3, 1, and 2. Or 2, 1, 3, up to you, whichever way you do it. Okay. Okay, so just make sure it's short. And I know my grace note came out really weirdly, like the first note should be longer, but that's not the intention. It's just a little grace there. That's it. 2 grace notes. And then, so I do 2, 1, 2, 3. Bar 53, I do another 1, 2, 3 connection. 1, 2, 3. And it's a 2, 2, 2, 2, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so bar 55, I go 2, 2, and then I connect 1, 2, 3. And then I come off a little bit just to kind of make sure I'm not over catching these notes and stopping the melody. And I go 2, 1, and then 3, 1, up to the A. And then a 1, 2, 3, same as before. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so we kind of upset that. So let's play those two bars together. This is bar 59 and 60. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. 3. Okay. All right. And you maybe don't have the chords yet. You may want to practice these ones. I just play them chord, chord, chord. Okay. So I don't do any connecting here. I do 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, 1, 3, 4. Okay, so that I make sure that I get. You could do 1, 2, 3 as well. Actually, I find I'm getting a better sound. Maybe my long 3. Maybe it's easier to catch the 3, 4, but I'm getting better sound out of 1, 3. I don't know. And those chords just simply come off, off, off. Okay, and we really want it to just be very super resonant there. Okay, and this next section, these are the left hand that you like to practice. I do 2, 2, 3, 2, 3, 2. Okay, it gives it a nice sort of lilt. 2, 3, 2, 3, 2. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and a 4. Okay, so I go 1, 2, 3. Oh, sorry, I have a. It's written like that, but I think I don't know what I was thinking because I don't like it anymore. If I was thinking that sounded better on another harp, but I don't think double that. Maybe put a little tie between that second E. So the grace note should just be G, F, and then you land on the E. Okay. You could try it like that. Maybe it sounded better on another harp. On my Juno that rings like crazy. But maybe I meant to. Yeah. Maybe I did. 2, 3. Maybe, yeah, I meant it to be like that, but I would say scrap it. Scrap the E in the grace note. So 1, 2, 3. Now this next thing I did mean to do. The gliss, so you play an A in your left hand, and the gliss starts on beat 2, and the gliss beats all the way to beat 5. Not beat 4 like you would expect. So here you want to just keep it nice and relaxed. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1. Okay. So it's intended so it's not so in your face that the melody's starting again. It comes in a little bit more subtle. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2. Okay. Now this all kind of repeats with the left hand. We're just doing fifths with the left hand here, fifths, and then we do some octaves. The right hand is doing a lot of work. So when you are practicing this, practice with just the octaves. Okay. 5, 6, 1, 2, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's just octaves through this whole thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. 1, 2, and 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so that rhythm happens again here in bar 77. So now that you've practiced it with the octaves a million times, so you know you're really comfortable when you're playing your octaves, making sure that you're lifting up and that you're keeping your elbow like super relaxed. Don't grab at your octaves. Keep your elbow super relaxed, let your hand float. Otherwise, we can really pull and strain. And the same thing that was happening with the left hand, don't do any grabbing. with your octaves. Make sure that it's staying open, relaxed through the whole thing. Then you can add in your other finger, and I always suggest to do, and I always do myself, I do the fingers not all together. So I'll do 1 and 2 together, but just sort of understanding that my fourth finger is going to be out. So I don't practice like I would only do thirds. I practice kind of like I'm doing the octave, but I'm only doing the other 2 fingers. Okay, just getting a sense of like where would my fourth finger be, and it's surprising how much like strain you can feel when you do that and you're sort of holding your hand out. You can feel where you're straining or pulling. Where when you have your fourth finger on the harp, you're sort of anchoring yourself. So you don't get a chance to kind of feel, well, where is this not balanced? Where is this not good in my hand? But when you're just sort of holding your fourth finger out, ready to play, still staying relaxed, you can kind of feel where the tension can be. And so I find it's a really great way to just get really comfortable with these big chords, especially if you've got small hands and big chords. It's a really good way to do it. Okay, and then you could do 2 and 4 together, right? So here's where I'm feeling my buzzing. I really depend on my thumb to not buzz. But here I'm noticing where the buzzing is a real danger, right? And where my second finger needs to work harder and not just depend on my thumb. Now I put them all together. Left hand, you've got a 10th, a 5th and a 10th in your left hand. So if you need
Oh dear, we've lost Lanny again. Lanny, you're frozen. Uh-oh. I love this idea of breaking these things up into components, though. That's a really, really good idea, because I find that my hand does get really tired when I'm doing this kind of thing. The other thing you can do with this is you can practice it super quietly as well. Once you get all the fingers going, just go down to pianissimo so you don't overdo, you know, because it's one of those things that can be quite a strain. And again, if your hands are bigger, then they're probably not so much of a strain. For me, it's a stretch. So just super, super quiet. Or you can just do some of them. Like if you're performing this and you're getting tired, just simply leave out the fourth finger if you find that your hand's getting sort of bound up. And then come back. And then just take a few of them or something like that. That's how I often will get through something. If I find that I'm developing that kind of claw situation, that's when, but the idea of just doing the 2 and 4 is really good. Just the bottom ones, I think that's what she was saying, and then just the top ones. Oh dear, we've lost her. I hope she's back soon. I did have a couple of questions too about some interesting kind of crunchy harmonies actually in bar 70. Let me see, that is 75. It has it's got a, and then this. But at the same time, it's kind of neat. Like it's not expected, but I'm sure that's probably supposed to be there. But I think it's the one kind of the thing that if it does bother the thing, you could just simply change that to an A, so that you could go like a. But I do like. I think it does make sense in the context of where it's going next, because it's going out. Maybe it's like a little suspension or something, and then. And there's one spot where if you wanted to drop the fourth finger, oh, there she is. There you are. I found you.
Hello. Oh my gosh. I'm so upset with TELUS. They keep going like, no, it's fine. Your internet's fine. No problem. It keeps shutting down on me, and I don't know why. Oh my goodness.
We
Okay.
ended up getting a new modem, but it wasn't our choice. It was because they just decided the whole building was going to go Rogers, because we used to be in the Shaw Tower. Now we're in the Rogers Tower. So they just came in and replaced all the Shaw stuff with Rogers.
Wow. Okay.
And they messed us up really well for the first little, like almost a month of just complete disaster, because they changed the thing before they actually had the backup for it. So it was anyway.
Right. Yeah.
So actually, now that I've got you back, I was just going to ask about this wonderful crunchy. You've got this really crunchy harmony in bar 75, and I'm sure it's intentional, but it's really kind of cool. It's like, but then it resolves when you come back to this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that was definitely intentional.
Yeah.
That was
my
little jazzy moment.
At first I had this question mark, and I thought, no, I kind of like it. Yeah.
Right? Yes. Yeah. And it always kind of depends on, sometimes we have to do these things a couple of times to go, yeah, okay, I like that. Or no, that one's a no. Yeah, that's my little jazzy moment in there. Okay, good. Yeah, so we have this rhythm. Okay, and then we do want to just be careful. You don't have to replay that A at the end of bar 77. The left hand plays a G chord, an A open fifth, and then the D with an open fifth and an octave. And you don't have to replay that note if you're finding it's making a zip sound. You can always leave that out. Sometimes we make those decisions to sound better on our harps, and that's okay too. But if it's working out, it's a nice full harmony. Okay, so then we finish off. So this one should be practiced a lot. The left hand goes up. This is bar 78. And then we change direction, which can be a bit of a, how does it go? A bit of a pat the head, rub the tummy kind of moment. And we have, so you can roll or don't roll. It depends if you can reach that big chord. I can't really, so I have to roll it. Okay, that big 10th chord. So I roll. I don't try to catch all of it. I catch 4, 3, and 1. So you can see it from this side. I catch 4, 3, and 1. And then after I pluck my 4, I put my 2 on. I just simply cannot stretch comfortably all of those fingers. So if you have that situation, or you can just play the 4, 3, and then roll the 2, 1 on. I have no problems putting my 1 on. The 1 is comfortable. The 2 just simply won't make it. It turns into a...
Which one are you talking about, Lana?
Oh, sorry, I'm on bar 79, the second chord in the left hand.
Right.
Okay.
What I try to do there is I put 2 and 3 on first. Then I get my 4th finger on, and then I get my thumb on.
And then you put them on, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's good. I don't have enough space for that. I mean, I can do it.
Exactly. I know.
But it hurts. If I do it twice, it's painful. So I've given up on the 2. I just place 1, 3, 4, and then I roll on my 2. Now, if I need to play it straight, yeah, I'll do it. I'll do it and just suffer for a minute. but it's not a great idea if you don't have to. So if you can roll it, it's good. Okay, and then we go. Okay, so this is sort of the last little bit that I think you can use me for. The rest of it, I think you can probably, from what we've already done, get a sense of where to put your fingers. But for these arpeggios, so the arpeggios can be approximated, and that's okay. It can be like a sort of Tchaikovsky situation where you can approximate where you start and land. But I have put kind of some guidelines. I've done a bit of a Laurie Papillon where she likes to have that bottom note kind of ring and then a whoosh come out of it. And so I kind of did the first note a little bit longer than the rest. And you land on the 4, on beat 4. And these arpeggios, though they may look a bit daunting, is actually just F, G, A, D, F, G, A, D, F, G, A, D. Okay, so it really is you're playing the same notes all the way up the harp. You do your D, A, D that you've been doing the whole piece, and then F, G, A, D, F, G, A, D. Okay, so it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so you're gonna land on the 4. In the next bar, you're going to do the same thing, but you're going to come back down. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, just way less notes coming down. So it kind of just slows down as you come. So I go up, I do 4, 3, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, and then 1, 2. And then just as they're grouped, I do 1, 2, 3 with my left hand and 2, 3, 4 with my right hand. And then you have another 4, 5, 6. So it's the same thing. And the same thing here, you come up to the 4 is that top note. Okay, but when you come back down, you're coming a little bit faster. But you're like going down to a triple P, so almost to niente, like all the way down. So we come down, it just as it's grouped, we have we land on the beat 4 on our high D. We come down, and beat 5 is where our third finger is. And then just a 2, 4 with the right hand to finish it off. And beat 6 is your A here. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and into the harmonics. Okay, so when you're doing it slowly, it's good, and then you can move in a little faster. And then we start our. So this is the same interlude that we had earlier, but this time it's just you're playing single notes with your right hand and you're playing harmonics with the left hand, and I've added in a little bit extra.
I just want to. You got these wonderful 5s, and it's a great opportunity to talk about what kind of words you can use to make a nice 5. And I think university was one that we use a lot. University makes perfect little 5s. And Philadelphia and Lalla Brigida and Dalek Piccola, like there's all these hippopotamus.
Yes.
Yeah, but university is my favorite one.
How about Matteo, sweetie? Matteo, sweetie. It works. You want to pop in here? that can work. But I like hippopotamus is a good one, or university. Yeah, so you can go like one university, and then as you come down, then you have a group of 6, a 3, and a 1.
It's 803.
In this. It's 803, so I'm getting that. I know, but we had like some. Mama got booted off of the internet for some reason. So so coming through to the end of the piece, again, it all kind of repeats similarly. And this pattern, this arpeggiated pattern, repeats at the end of the piece, just to sort of take the piece out. Until your very end in bar 129, the very end of the piece, where we were doing 1, 2, 3, 4. We were landing on 4 at the top. When you get to 129, actually 127 is where it happens. We're going a little slower. The arpeggio is on beats 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So beat 4 is actually the F, G, A, D. So it's all going a little bit slower because we're getting to the end of the piece. So 1, 2, 3. Oh, sorry, I'm playing it slow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, but your harmonic should come out. There we go. We want to hear a harmonic at the end and not a donk. Yeah, so it all kind of slows down. But of course, I played much faster than all of that, but that's how the timing works for it. Does anybody have any questions? Not yet.
I did some kind of weird thing in 95. It looks like I wrote a little note to self. When I got to there, I went. So this thing here, I put it in my right hand. So my right hand went. So I just took this in my right hand, so that my left hand went just. Because I found that I didn't trust my jump, so it was like, and then off I went from there. But I mean, I don't know. That might be just another layer of difficulty in a different way. Could just make it awkward in a different way.
It could be, but it's certainly safer. Yeah. So this is in bar 94. The left hand. So it really just was supposed to be a little bit of a percussive moment, and so it is nice to if we're missing. Oops. Oh yeah.
You know,
Sorry. That's
I was
second
just
time
being lazy,
happened.
but it was just a thought.
Yeah,
And
but
yours makes
Elizabeth
much more sense.
says, well, but actually, I like the, because it did take a while. It did take a while to go like, okay, I'm safe. I can land it. So yeah, playing that D and the A in the right hand also can be a really nice. It can be a really nice save. I don't know if it sounds different.
It does
if
sound
it doesn't,
different, yeah. So, yeah, if I was going to perform this, I think I would use your fingering, but I was just thinking, you know.
Yeah. But does it sound different to us, or does it sound different to everybody? It could just be we can hear the difference that maybe other people can't. So, but that is a really great option, and it's safe. So I would keep that as an option. I like that. Yeah. Okay. Well, have fun learning it if you do.
It's lovely.
And thank you guys so much. Oh, Judy, yeah.
Just a quick reminder, we don't have a lesson tomorrow. We hop to next Wednesday.
That's a good reminder.
Because I think you have something you've got to do for Vancouver Symphony Orchestra next.
I do.
Okay.
I do. I have a big scary solo tomorrow.
Okay.
Wish me luck.
Our lesson will be a week on Wednesday.
Yes. Okay. Fantastic. Thank you, guys.
Okay, so next week is the performance week, but you don't have to perform. But if you do, you can play anything you want. And then if we have time left over, we'll either look at that thing that I ripped out of a harp column, or we'll, any questions you have, you know, just bring any questions or, you know, discussion topics, and we'll use the time.
Wonderful.
Okay.
Great.
All right, we'll see you all next weekend, and I will stop the recording.
Sorry about my internet again. See you.